The sun had not yet risen above the horizon when the sound of waves lapping against the side of the boat woke up the entire ship. Without an alarm clock, the bodies of these men automatically woke up according to the biological rhythm of the sea. They were tuna fishermen with pursed seins, silent warriors of the ocean, living for months on long boats like steel dragons. The salty smell of the sea mixed with sweat, engine oil and the hot breath of the men preparing for a day of work. The engine roared, the ship shuddered, slowly moving away from the harbor, leaving behind the city lights fading in the morning mist. They did not look back. Their eyes were fixed ahead, where the vast ocean awaited. On deck, calloused hands quickly checked the nets, ropes, and buoys. Each strand of the net had to be perfect, because even the smallest hole could allow an entire school of fish to escape. The purse seine is their most powerful weapon, a giant net, miles long, capable of encircling a school of tuna weighing several tons. But using it costs them strength, time, and sometimes their lives. The eyes must be sharp, the hands must be quick, and the heart must be steadfast. That's the catchphrase of Captain Sato, who has been in the business for more than 30 years. His face is wrinkled by the sea wind. His eyes are so bright that they can see through the deep water. He stands on the bridge, his hands gripping the wheel, scanning the sonar for a signal. A school of tuna has just passed by. With a short shout, the entire ship comes to life. The fishermen rush into position like a clockwork machine. The net is lowered slowly. Buoys mark the position, and the ship begins to draw a giant circle on the sea surface. This was the crucial moment. If they got it wrong, the whole day's work would be for nothing. The sea was not on their side today. The waves were bigger than expected. The wind was stronger, and the boat rocked like a drunk. But no one flinched. Bare feet gripped the wet wooden deck. Hands gripped the ropes. Eyes glued to every movement of the net. The net was closed. Hundreds of tuna flocked beneath the water, silver glinting in the sunlight. But the work wasn't over yet. It was time to pull the net up. Muscled arms began to turn the winches, and meter after meter of fish-laden net was hauled up onto the deck. Sweat soaked their backs. Breathing was labored, but smiles did not fade. A rope slackened, the net tore, a cursed gap appeared, and the fish began to escape. Swearing rang out, but no one stopped. They rushed to mend the net like soldiers on the battlefield. Blood from small scratches mixed with the seawater, but no one cared, and they did. The nets were patched, the fish were pulled up, though not as many as expected, but that was their life, fighting every minute, every second, to snatch each fish from the depths of the sea. When night fell, the boat was bathed in a pale yellow light. The fishermen sat around the hot fish hot pot, telling each other old stories about near-death experiences in storms, about giant fish that escaped the nets, about the families on land that they missed every day. Then they would sleep, exhausted on their narrow beds, listening to the steady, heartbeat-like sound of the waves. And when dawn came, they would continue, for the sea never sleeps. And neither do the fishermen. They were nameless people, the souls of the ocean, living and dying with the waves. And their journey, never ending. The days that followed were no different, just waves, wind, and schools of fish that never stayed still. The boat cut through the water, leaving a white trail in its wake on the deep blue sea. Seagulls flew overhead, sometimes swooping down almost to touch the waves, then soaring high again, as free as the ocean itself. But the fishermen had no such freedom. They tied their lives to the boat, to their work, to each heavy catch. Today, the weather was better. The sea was as smooth as a giant mirror, reflecting the bright sunlight. But no one dared to be complacent. The sea could change its mood in the blink of an eye. A gentle breeze in the morning could turn into a storm by afternoon. A young, tanned man shouted from the sonar control cabin. He was Hiroshi, the son of a retired old fisherman who had joined the crew only a few months ago. His eyes sparkled with excitement whenever he spotted a school of fish, the enthusiasm of youth not yet dulled by years of hardship. Captain Sato nodded, his eyes narrowing as if calculating the fish's path in his head. Without needing to be told a second time, everyone was in position. Their arms and legs moved in unison, like a dance that had been repeated 1,000 times. The net was lowered, slowly opening like a giant mouth opening, waiting to swallow the fish. A strange engine noise sounded from the horizon. Another ship, larger, more modern, was heading straight for them. The air on deck froze. This was not the first time they had encountered poachers. Uninvited ships, ready to steal the catch they had worked so hard to find. The strange ship drew closer, close enough that they could hear the people on deck talking. A few unfamiliar faces looked over, their eyes cold, unconcerned. Then suddenly, they changed direction. Perhaps they saw the Japanese crew as too determined. Or perhaps they had spotted another school of fish. Either way, the threat was temporary, but that moment was enough for the fish to sense danger. As soon as the net was closed, half of them swam away. But Sato just watched the other ship silently, his eyes shining with something, perhaps fatigue, or suppressed anger. It's okay, see. Night fell, and the atmosphere on the ship was quieter than usual. Tonight's dinner was fresh sashimi, cut from the tuna they had caught this morning. But no matter how delicious it was, it seemed like the taste buds couldn't erase the bitterness in their hearts. Hiroshi sat alone at the bow of the ship, looking out at the dark waters. He thought absent-mindedly about his hometown coastal village, where his mother was still waiting. She used to say, "The sea feeds us, but it can also take everything away. You're already homesick after only a few months at sea." A hoarse voice rang out from behind. Old Ken, the oldest fisherman on the ship, sat down next to him, holding a rolled cigarette that gave off a distinctive burnt smell. Hiroshi shook his head. "It's not homesickness. It's just, sometimes I wonder if I'm strong enough for this life." Old Ken chuckled. "No one is strong enough from the start, son, but the sea will teach you. It teaches us all." He took a long drag on his cigarette, then exhaled the thin smoke into the night. "Once, my ship was caught in a storm. The waves were as high as mountains. The wind howled like demons. We thought we were doomed. But then the sea spared us. It always does that, sometimes generous, sometimes cruel, but if you respect it, it will let you live." Hiroshi listened silently, feeling as if some power had passed from the old man to him. The next morning, the sea welcomed him again with an endless blue, and they continued, casting nets, pulling nets, fighting the wind and waves. The strange ships, their own fatigue. Hundreds of tons of fish were pulled onto the boat by the fishermen, their wet bodies sparkling silver under the harsh midday sun. The sound of the winch rumbled, each steel cable stretched taut as if about to break. Strong, sinewy arms, all at once, grabbed onto the net, pulling, pulling, pulling. The net slowly emerged from the water, so heavy that it seemed as if the ship had tilted to one side. The cheers echoed in unison, rhythmically like an ancient song of the sea. Sweat soaked their backs. The salt formed white streaks on their skin. But no one let go. A catch like this could feeding the ship for weeks, paying for fuel, food, and hope for those waiting for their return. A mountain of tuna. One by one, they bounced across the deck like living pieces of mercury. Their blue-black dorsal fins were sharp, their round, black eyes still struggling. The wooden hammers pounded down. A dry thump, ending their lives quickly. The fish's blood mixed with the seawater, flowing in dark red streams into the drains. Captain Sato stood on the observation